Field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
It's going to be a long 4 years. Now, although his speech wasn't intellectually titillating, it wasn't the most exciting thing I've watched from a re-elected president. I will say there are three things that I thought were very, very, very interesting that might be telling of what's to come in the next 4 years. But number one, his energy level. Obviously, Donald Trump has lost his step. Not 100%. You can still see flashes in there of the old Donald. You can still see flashes of what he thinks is comedic timing. But I think, and I hate to play into the conspiracy theories that a lot of people have, but I think that we're just seeing Joe Biden number 2. Personally, I hope it's not the case. I don't wish poor health on anybody. I don't care what agreements or disagreements I may have with the person. But secondly, I just don't think it's good for the good of the country to have anyone in a position of power who may be in mental decline or maybe the stress of it all. Hopefully it shakes off because of the stress of campaigning. But then again, he shines in campaigning. He gets standing ovations. He gets people chanting his name. So that's why I don't really think it's stress. It could be. I hope it's not something worse. Second part, I think, is much less about what he said, but more so about what he didn't say. When talking about immigration, he specifically said he was going to target criminals. He was going to make the cartels a terrorist group, and he's going to target those and go across the country and try to eradicate them. There was no clear messaging on birthright, DACA, anything of that nature, which is very, very concerning for a lot of people, especially a lot of my neighbors. I live in the Houston area, and it's a huge cause for concern. So being very unclear to me tells me that perhaps he's just gonna let his border czar run free and then wash his hands of the whole thing. Now, there's another part of this where I feel like, and again, I'm using feel, I don't know for sure, but you go watch it and you tell me, where it feels like he again is messaging through a mission where he says, yeah, I'm going to declare a state of emergency on our energy and on our economy, and he's going to drill, baby, drill. In between that, he says we're going to bring the prices down. We're going to bring the prices of everything down. Now, if you hear that, that rings a bell within you that says, oh, okay, so these damn liberals were saying that he wasn't able to bring prices down, that it's very difficult, but he's saying it again. So he's going to bring prices down, but prices of what? Prices of what? Now, I don't mean to be overcritical and nitpicky of every single thing a public official says. It's very tough to simply be in the public spotlight and have everything you say align perfectly with everything you do. It's very difficult to constantly be in the public spotlight and always be right. However, this is intentional. If you think about the body of work of Donald J. Trump, every word he says is intentional. He doesn't have a superfluous word, especially when it's practiced, especially when it's a speech. Now, if he's responding to a question, if he's responding to something, sometimes he can get a little hot-headed and say the wrong thing. But when it's practiced, when it's polished, he's spot on. So again, communicating by omission that, yeah, we're gonna make America great. We're gonna make America the wealthiest. We're gonna make it this city on a hill. But he's not addressing that you and I as an individual are gonna benefit from that. And that kind of goes into my last point. A good portion of this speech was dedicated to the woes of Donald J. Trump as having been persecuted and attacked by the establishment. An establishment that he has solidified himself into. Ultimately, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're a liberal. You just see it differently than the other side. Once you finally realize that, you start to understand that we have just voted in someone who has a personal vendetta against a few in the establishment, but that does not, first of all, translate into his interests aligning with yours, and secondly, that we've just pinned our hopes and dreams on the back of fascism. Problem isn't specifically what this administration is going to do with your liberties and the liberties of your neighbor. It is the precedent, not the person, but establishing a pattern of the precedent that is going to be established for, I don't know, putting national interest above that of the individual, because that's what fascism does. Now, I'm in no way saying that this man is the same as the mustache man, but this speech seems to conflate his personal, I hate to keep using the word vendetta, but his personal goals with that of the nation, which on its face doesn't sound like a terrible thing. You want a person to pursue the things that the nation wants, but you also want those things to actually be beneficial to the nation, not the things that you're telling the nation that are best for the nation. That's where messaging comes in. That's where all the twisted and twisting of definitions and pointing fingers and whataboutisms throughout the campaign, that's where all these chickens come to roost. Now you're going to see the next 4 years that a lot of what's going to happen has nothing to do with you, and it's not what any of us wanted. But we were messaged to in such a way that because this person felt so passionate about it, then he gets us. He gets it. He gets us. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm very wrong. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't want to see any of you get hurt. I don't want to see any of you in a worse off position than you were when these 4 years started. We've taken enough shit from the system already. If we have even a 1% improvement in our livelihoods as a whole, perfect. Win. Bravo. But unfortunately, I don't see that happening. It's not a scary time. It's a time for us to start gaining a better grasp, better understanding on how this whole fucking system works. To stop believing everything at face value, taking everything at face value. Start considering that your ancestors, my ancestors, did not fucking die for this shit. that all of you have the power for change. All of us together have the power for change. And gardening and landscaping tools are very cheap. See you on the next one. I'm gonna go get some tacos. Bye.